Hi, I'm Janine, and I'm going to be sharing with you the Surface Utopia crisscross hair painting technique. Utopia is the Surface 2019 trend, and it signifies simple perfection. So we're going to get maximum results with minimal steps. And to maximize our success, we're going to map out our sections using zones of the head. So in the back in our blue zone, we've created a crisscross, which leaves us with 4 triangles that we'll be working with. Then we'll move to the red zone where we'll have 2 triangles where we'll install in between a texture light. And then working in the black and the green zone, we've created obtuse triangles where we'll install some texture lights and also some travel lights where you can see the movement is where the arrow is pointing on each one of the triangles. And we've also left out a half section area on the hairline, and this is where we're going to create some pop in color to help give more lightness around the face and create our money piece. So to prep the hair, we've done a base and stretch application on our guest right here, and we used Pure Color. Pure Color is a non-ammonia, PPD-free, high demi gel color that uses a delivery system with the basu oil and enzyme cream activators. You get awesome shine and unbelievable condition using endless blends with the Surface Pure Color. It's mixed in a 1-to-1 ratio. So what we did here is we did 1 part of 5N to a half a part 7B, and then mixed 1.5 parts of 7 volume enzyme cream activator. And we applied with a bowl and brush application onto the base, and then using our TK2 comb on the wide side, we drag that color down just past the ridge through the hair to create a nice stretch of the color. Once that processed, we washed and then dried using the Trinity Protein Tonic and Basu mask and got her prepped for our balayage, which we're ready to start. So before we get started, I'm going to be using Pure Blonde Lightener. It's lightener from nature and also has an organic delivery system using our Basu oil. It's ammonia free. It applies white and processes translucent so you can actually see what it's doing while it's working, which is pretty awesome. Pure Blonde mixes in a 1-to-2 ratio. So today I'm going to be working with 1 part of our lightening powder to 2 parts of our 40 volume enzyme cream activator. I'm also adding in some of our Pure Blonde color thickener. This is going to help me get to a consistency that works well with me for hair painting. The nice thing about our color thickener is that it does not affect the processing, and you can use it in any color and lightener formula. So to get started, we're going to go ahead and prep the hair with our Trinity Protein Tonic. And this is going to help give us some control in our painting and also give some extra protection to the hair. We'll go ahead and comb this and get nice control. I'm going to go ahead and load up my board with lightener. And then taking our section, bringing it nice and taut, we're going to identify the peak of the section, which will be right here. And I'm going to go ahead, taking a small bead of lightener off of my board, and start lightly patting and applying lightener to the peak. Layering the product as I go, moving in oval sweeping motions. Once I've applied to the peak, I'm going to go ahead and start hugging the section on the sides using oval motions again and coming down, connecting to that peak. This is going to help give us some extra dimension, and we'll do that on the same side or the other side. And once I have those in place, I'm going to start and focus on the ends of the hair, pushing product through. So I'm going to lay this section corner to corner, adding a little bit more lightener to my section and pushing that through to our ends to help create some nice pop and lightness in that area. Stepping away, and we'll go ahead and isolate this section with some cellophane. We're going to move in a left to right direction, painting in the same manner. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this section here, spraying with our Trinity Protein Tonic. Loading up our board with our Pure Blonde lightener, and we're identifying our peak, which is right here. Again, taking a small bead, we're going to go ahead and start laying that product on the peak, moving in swift oval motions, and then go ahead and start hugging that section on both sides. This will help create some dimension in the hair. And the key to our balayage when we're working is to focus on painting just the surface of the hair when you're looking at the peak and the sides. So you're going to be moving in oval motions, just laying on top. And then what we're going to do is go corner to corner with our section and start pushing through to our ends, adding some more lightener to layer on. Making sure we've got it good and saturated. And then laying that over in a crisscross fashion. And then isolating that with some cellophane. Now work the same manner on the other side. Now that we have our crisscross sections in the back, we're going to work on our last section in the back on top. And what we're going to do here is we're going to paint the peak on both sides of the section, and then creating a little bit more dimension and diffusion in the middle here with some painting. So we'll load up the board. First spraying with our protein tonic. We always like to hold the hair taut when we're doing balayage so we don't have our brush with lightener on it bouncing around. So again, we're going to take a bead and working on peak on each side. Painting that peak on both sides. Giving nice saturation so we have the lightness coming through. And then we're going to paint a couple of sections here in the middle to help give us a little bit more dimension. And then again, we'll go corner to corner with our ends, adding some more lightener, and really saturate those ends to give a nice pop of color and that lightness that everybody likes to see. And we'll isolate that again with some cellophane. Next, we'll be working in our red zone. And to start, we're going to separate this into two triangles. I've already done that by working from the corner of the red zone and moving that into just behind the eye to create a triangle. Working on the bottom part of that section, we're going to sprinkle in some push powder. This is going to help give us some grip, or this is going to give us some grip, and it's going to help us to achieve a bold microfoil with a diffused base. And how we're going to do that is taking a surface slice, and I'm going to weave out this section, and then push 1, 2, 3 times, all while respecting the integrity of the hair by not over pushing. Now is where I'm going to take my foil, folding the foil behind, and putting my section down on the foil. I'm going to go ahead and start applying my lightener about 1 inch from the base, saturating the section using my hand as support underneath. Saturating down through the ends. I'm going to come up here and just feather this top area up into the base to help give us a more diffused line. And then working foil on foil, go ahead and cover that and fold in the sides to lock it in. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now we're going to go ahead and work with our travel lights. I'm going to go ahead and clip our texture light out of the way, working in the bottom part underneath that texture light. Spraying with our protein tonic. Load up our board. And we're going to paint the peak. And then we're going to work in a gradient application as we move further down the section. directing it back towards the blue zone. And again, using our crisscross on the board, or corner to corner, we're going to go ahead and saturate these ends. And draping it over top in the back of the blue zone. We'll isolate that with some cellophane. We'll go ahead and do our travel light on the top here. Again, painting our peak and then working in a gradient application as we move towards the back and travel this section across the blue zone. And again, saturating our ends with lightener. And then isolating that with some cellophane. And I'll repeat the same thing on the other side. We're now going to work on the top of the head in our black and green zones where we have our obtuse triangles. We're going to first install a texture light on the base of the triangle, and then working with our peak, we're going to be traveling our section over directing it over to this side. So to start, let's go ahead and put some push powder in. And again, this is going to help give us some grip. I'm going to take a surface slice and weaving out that section. We're going to push once, twice, 3 times. Taking our foil, starting an inch from the base, we're going to go ahead and push through and saturate this section all the way to the ends. Once we've got that saturated, we're going to move up to the top here and just feather in for a more diffused base. We'll place another foil on top. Lock that foil in place and close it down. It's important to lock your foils so when you start moving them around, you don't have slipping of the hair. So we're going to move that up out of our way. And then we'll be moving in this direction, starting at the peak of the triangle. load up my board. And I'll turn this way so, see? And then again, we'll start the peak, applying on the peak, and as we move down, working in a gradient application. Saturating through to our ends. Working corner to corner. Draping that over. And isolating with some cellophane. Now we'll work on the next triangle in the same fashion. Whereas we did our texture light on the base over here on this triangle, we're going to work on the base of this triangle over here, and then directing all of that back over this way, being this is the peak of the triangle. Taking a surface slice, going halfway into that section, creating a nice weave, and then pushing once, twice, 3 times before installing our foil. And again, going an inch from the base, working this lightener down, saturating it all the way through. And then when we get back up to the base here, we're going to feather that line to diffuse it, to have a nice blend with our surface pure blonde. We'll go ahead and put another foil on top of that. Lock that in place. And then slip that up out of the way so we can do our travel light, working from the peak, coming over. Again, starting at our peak. Working in a gradient application as we move further down the section. We'll take the section corner to corner on our board, adding some more lightener and pushing that through to the ends. And again, isolating that with some cellophane. I'll continue in this manner on the other triangles that are on the green zone, and then we'll move to the 1/2 inch area at the hairline. I've now completed the obtuse triangles in the black and the green zones, and everything back here you can see is crisscrossed. Now I'm going to be working in the front section of the hairline and creating 2 texture lights here. So we'll start by sprinkling our push powder into the section. And then go ahead and creating a slice to weave out a section. And again, going 1, 2, 3 pushes. Placing our foil. Going 1 inch from the base and saturating this section. Through to the ends, feathering up to the base to create some diffusion. Covering with our foil. Locking that in place. And then we'll do another one right behind that section. One, 2, 3 pushes. Now, depending on your section, you may want to decide to do 3 back-to-backs. But we're going to go ahead and just do 2 on this one right here. So that completes our crisscross hair painting. I'm going to let her process till I reach about a level 9 of lightness, and then we'll be doing an overlay. So our guest here processed to about a level 9 of lightness, and we went ahead and shampooed her at the shampoo bowl. Without conditioning, we went ahead and did our overlay at the bowl using equal parts of 9N, 9V, and 9B. And then equal to that in a 1-to-1 ratio, we put 7 volume enzyme cream activators with our color, with our pure color. And the result is this beautiful blonde textured look with some shine and condition. And she's very happy. And that is our crisscross hair painting technique. Now, to have a little fun, I'm going to show you how you can put in some twisted texture into the hair. Real simple. And we're just going to be working on the area above the parietal ridge, which we'll call the veil. And we're going to go ahead and take a section, do like a little triangular section right here above the ridge. We'll go ahead and spray with our char finishing spray, dividing that into 2 sections. And we're just going to do a little twist of the section. Just twisting as we go all the way down. And then we're going to be using some of our char blow dry paste. Taking just a little bit. I'm just taking a little bit, working that into my fingers. And then taking the section that we twisted, I'm just going to ruffle up the twist with my fingers, giving it some nice texture. We're just going to lay that down, and then we'll take another section, spraying with our finishing spray, dividing into 2 sections, and twisting that hair. And then just ruffling up. Still have some of that char on my fingertips. And we'll go ahead and do this technique going all the way around to give her some nice twisted texture. And there you have it. Thanks for watching.